Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Evercade podcast. That's Pete. There's Crow. I'm Ed. What's up?
Oh, I don't have that one. Nobody said "was up" in 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And Rich is Gandalf.
Last time I said "what's up," that was even funny back in the day.
No, you know what? It kind of was.
Really?
Back, you got to understand my situation. It was like when that was out, I was actually in basic training in when I was in the Air Force. So people were just, I don't know. It was just something that was pretty funny just to hear randomly during that time.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the platform that we're streaming on didn't exist. You actually had to email like the clip to people or like see the commercial, the office.
Or you just watch TV. It was on all the time.
Yeah, I know. Oh man, yeah, we definitely have a few things to talk about. I think we'll talk about the update, UI updates, talk about game of the month, take a look at polls, and then we have only 2 more games for the C64 collection, and then we finish off collection 2, and then we can talk about what we want to look at next.
Okay. Well, with the library, it's easy to see because you can order the collections in the order in which they were released.
Yeah, I know,
unfortunately,
right?
Unfortunately, it doesn't tell you the date they were released, just the year.
Yeah. Well, let's say hi to the chat, and then then we can dive into one of those things and all that. So who do we have here? We have channel member Phantom Fiction. Cool, dude. I always appreciate when people say they watch us on the replay. I think that's awesome. We got Rusta. And we have Ryan. Wow, long time no see. Welcome. And we have channel member Lord JRM. We have Nathan Foster. We have channel member Mortal Sojourn. Wow, a lot of channel members. We have channel member DF. Oh, I can't see the. Dang it! She won't show the red finger one. And we have Gene Joke. Hello. Good to have you here. We have AMN. Gotcha, sucker MC. And channel member Jason Shears in the house. What's up? We got Taz. Oh, and Taz, now I do finally, you weren't here to the live stream. I do have audio now. So.
Well, were you streaming with no audio?
Well, for no audio for playing games, but like people kept insisting on it, and I wanted to make my viewers happy, and I tinkered with it and got it to work. So as long as I don't breathe on my PC. Hey, Nicholas, good to have you back here. But yeah, we'll take a look at the polls. We have Andre 4. Yes, that is Ryan from Blaze. I checked because I clicked on his icon, and it showed me already being subbed to him, and then I recognized like that name. Although he took off the Homer the Homer video or the clip where like he would say, "It's time for another Hyper Mega Tech update," or no, "It's time for another Evercade update," something weird like that. Like that voice.
Global Hyper Meganet.
Yeah, I knew you'd do that. Yeah. So okay, fine. We'll get the polls and we'll get to that. And I tell you, next week's polls, depending on the results of this, it's gonna get crueler. I kind of made a cruel.
Did you say
poll.
It was gonna get crueler?
Yes. Yeah. You'll see.
How can a poll be cruel?
Because I said, the one you pick will be the next Evercade collection. The one you don't pick will never be a collection. And we got 95% of the people that was, hey, do you want a Konami or SNK?
I choose 0.
Well, I pick both then.
Yeah, pick both.
Yeah, but you can only But so actually, as much as I love SMK, I was happy to see people pick Konami because I have like more nostalgia for Konami. 65% overwhelmingly, and then since this one won, next week's poll is going to be the same thing, except it's going to be Konami against another big IP, and I'm going to keep doing that because I'm curious to see what people will pick. What else? Toxo says purely based on computer games. We want to see Metal Slug. Wow, Mother versus the Father. I remember.
What? Wait, Mother versus the Father? Who's the father?
I think because like these were like I think I know what he means maybe because like one was the father, one genre, and then I guess one was the mother of another. Both good game companies. I don't know.
You know, Earthbound. I don't know.
People want Neo Geo. PK's like, I want Konami. Considering, oh, I forget. Yeah, that's right. I forget who owns SNK now. Like, is it like some like Saudi prince or something? I say nothing. You know what I'm thinking. Oh, like if you don't say it, which one? But yeah, this I thought would be fun. And this is on my mind because I don't know about you guys, but like I want like the next Evercade like big announcement to be really nostalgic. Like I'm in the mood for nostalgia.
Yeah, I'll worry about that when I get caught up.
Yeah, same here. I still haven't played Indie Heroes 3 yet.
Bad Evercaders.
No, bad. I tell you, I've been making progress.
I get it though with so many different
I saw your video where you played Farming Simulator for 1 minute. I played it for 2 hours.
God. I mean, I get it. There's a bunch.
So who's the true Evercader? Crow. Sounds like
the true. God, 2 hours, man. I mean, I get it with all the different games and consoles out there, but I keep saying that Evercade, like, legit thing that gets me excited. Except, actually, there is one other because Crow was playing that card roguelike, that poker one, and then kind of before the show, and I was like,
I was technically still playing it.
Yes. And I was looking to see like how many hours I could put in 426 hours in Slay the Spire, and they announced Slay the Spire 2. So I can't wait. That's like God. It's like one of my favorite like roguelike card games. 2 Minute Dead. The Blaze acquires the rights to both Sega and SNK, and the new hardware releases reshelled VS consoles that look like Mega Drive and Neo Geo. AS discuss. Hey, it's Rigatoni. So what's interesting on Evercast too. So I think I know what it's going to be. Like realistically, I think I know what the hardware is going to be. Mainly because on Rich's when he did his first impressions of the new UI, it showed Funstock like discontinued the VS. So I think what they're going to do is we forget that the VS has like a micro or mini USB. So they got to get that up to compliance. So that it'll be the same VS, but it's gonna have USB-C. And if I had to speculate, I think they'll have a version with no games and maybe one controller for like $89.
You know what it's going to be? It's going to be the Evercade Switch. It's going to be a new handle with a dock. And the dock will have ports for more games. So you'll be able to take your VS, plug it in, and you'll have a bunch of ports on the dock for games.
The Evercade VSC with 4 cartridge slots.
Yeah, the Evercade Switch. Well, they can't use the name Switch. But I mean, hey, like, Microsoft's putting out a handheld console, so.
The Evercade Witch.
The Witch.
And then I think the other thing we're going to see is like an EXP that's just gonna have the Capcom collection removed, and it'll be cheaper because of that. Because I think probably the rights or licenses up on that.
I'm done speculating. I just want to wait. They'll announce it. It'll come. Whatever it is, it'll disappoint some. It'll excite others.
I still think that it's just gonna be like color variations, or themes rather. Because they're coming out at the same months that new cartridges are going to come out. So, like when the Duke Nukem cards came out, we got the Evercade Atomic Edition, VS Atomic Edition. We'll get some major IP collection, and then a color themed piece of hardware. Actually, since there's 2 of them, it could be both a VS and an EXP color variant.
Could be for sure. I mean, that would be the easiest thing for them to do.
And
just not even change the hardware. Just put USB-C in there, right? That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. That too,
Yeah, and that's why I say I don't think it's going to be a major up. It's going to be more of a compliance because, they've kind of had to do that like the original, the new screen. But I do suppose
it'll be what it is. It'll probably surprise people. So
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, whenever I run across something that has a micro USB, it kind of annoys me. So I actually went out and just bought micro USB to USB-C adapters, so I don't have to hunt down those cables anymore, just so I could just use USB-C.
Mm-hmm.
Arcade Legacy means being. You know what? See, I wonder if they're going to do that. Like if they like repackage Pico 1, remove the games that they can't get the rights to, and re-release it. Oh, speaking of weird, like kind of like weird pointless re-release things. When I was streaming last Wednesday, I'm pretty sure it was you, Immortal Soldier, and asked me. He said, "Hey, what's the PEGI rating on your Codemasters card?" Right, and mine was 7 because Funstock had it back in, but it's now like PEGI 12. So it was just kind of a weird, and like Richards was PEGI 7 too. Kind of a weird thing. I guess some games went up higher on the PEGI rating, but
the variant. It's now a variant.
Yeah, exactly. Which
not for pro, because you'll never buy a PEGI rated game.
No.
I do sometimes, but yeah, these Codemasters that have a PEGI rating.
Yeah. Okay. Good. It was. Yeah. It was. Yeah. A weird little thing. But at least the good thing with this update, it doesn't care what variant you have as long as you have like a version of that card. And I'm kind of glad because that's how I see having a complete collection is you have the card. Like, who cares about the variants?
You obviously never collected Intellivision games because a big part of
that is messed. Or Atari 2600 games because that could get messy too.
Yep.
In fact, I think
But yeah, I'm sure everybody's aware by now that hey, we can now go in and view which I've been saying for like the longest time. We kind of needed like an analog pocket type feature where you can browse everything. I'm just thrilled that they released a patch where now you can go in and just say I own this.
Same game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Two different.
I don't know about you all, but I was dreading having to like put in like 50 parts in 2 consoles. So I'm glad that they put that in there. And you can sort by all this. So what I know you can sort by all this. What do you guys? You think it's neat? Is it just kind of mid? I don't know.
I now know there's 51 sports games on Evercade.
God, 52 million.
10% of Evercade games are sports, so it's not nearly as bad as everybody thinks it is.
Sometimes though, I don't trust the genre they assign because it wouldn't be the genre I would give the game.
Yeah, that's all subjective. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, I just installed it this morning, so I really.
What if a game fits 2 different genres? Is it in both categories?
Yeah, like action or adventure.
Right.
I don't know. It's all cool.
And then the cartridge. Oh, the hotfix. Yeah, you can confirm ownership. Game of the month, which is pretty cool. Improved library. Yeah.
Yeah, the game of the month I haven't tried, but it says it's a creepy adventure. I'm like, they should have saved that for October. Like.
I know, right?
Yeah. They might be a little late. I mean,
yeah, unless there's another creepy game coming out.
I know it totally is. Yeah, I played a little bit of this on stream, and I was impressed that they're going to give us on the next Indie Heroes because this is like a $15 game.
Yeah.
Right now.
Well, it won't be by then, right? Probably be a $5 game. You got to say though, like if it's on Steam for $15, it usually goes on sale for $2 or $3 once or twice a year too, right? Like. Yeah. That's the only way I buy Steam games. So they go on sale.
Actually, there's a rare case where I will buy full. I can't wait for a game and I'll buy.
Yeah, like Valtra.
Yeah. Yeah, this is good. This is good quality though.
Right, Crow? Valtra.
Oh, Baltro. Yeah. Well, you know what? Technically, that was on sale.
10%.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm playing.
Yeah, Crow's a Pegasus. For those of you. He doesn't like the Peggy.
I don't like the fact that they put it on the cover.
Crow's just weird.
Here's a good example of that. Okay, I got why don't they do that with movies? If a movie's rated R and you buy it on DVD, why don't they just slap a big R on the front of it?
I don't know.
Put it on the back.
Because look at it. This is a good example of that. Okay, got this. This is where they put the rating for it on the bottom, where you don't see it. Why?
I don't know. Video games are weird that way. I think I was going to say too. I haven't yet clicked on it, but if you go to the carts you don't own, then there's a QR code, and I'm guessing it probably redirects you to where you can buy them in your country.
And Jason, it's not just PEGI. It's also the ESRB. But I think the PEGI's a little bit more annoying because it's a full color, big giant color splotch they put. The ESRB is kind of black and white. It kind of blends in a little bit better, but it's the PEGI's just a little bit more annoying because it's this full color splotch they put that kind of really annoys me when you look at the cover art.
Oh, so get this. So here's what's funny. Here's what's funny about that because like it still is a concern because I was like at Target with my daughter and her boyfriend, and he wanted to buy a game. He wanted to buy a game for PS4, and the lady was like, I need like your date of birth. And unless I gave my date of birth, she wasn't going to let him buy it. I'm like, really? They're still like carding for video games. Like that's ridiculous.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Oh my god. Or has a Peggy allergy. So no, the other thing I was going to say with this interface, the only thing that's kind of sad is legacy cards. They mark legacy. Well, I mean, it's kind of good to know, but I'm like, no, if you don't.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I mean, that's one of the benefits of this thing. Is okay. It does give you the information, some information. Also, the other benefit is if, for example, there's a game you want to play, but you can't remember what cartridge it's on. That's
Yes.
the only. But
Yes.
any of the stuff that they've added, well, here's the thing: it's kind of still pointless because that's something you still easily look up online. Like, okay, what Evercade card is this game on? Okay, it pulls up. You don't really necessarily need to go to the library for this. The other thing is like for tracking your library, it doesn't make much sense to me either. Just because you can look on a shelf and see what games you own.
Yeah. It's neat though. It's just I think it kind of, at least for me, like it kind of gives it like more the feeling of ownership, and I like it too because now when I do my
that's why I maintain that the only reason this was added was to show you what games you don't own to get you to want to buy them.
Yeah,
for marketing. Yeah, true. But I like it because when I do my Fallout videos now, I don't have to worry about like putting in all the cards. So, you can look up stuff, but it's easier to have it integrated.
What was funny was like that day the day after that update came out, I wasn't doing anything, so I went ahead and I threw all the carts in there, and I went ahead and I hadn't done that in a long time anyway, so there were a whole bunch of carts that needed to be updated. So I went through that, and then as soon as I was done with that, we put out a new update. You don't need to do that.
I'm glad I updated this morning. Didn't have to do that. That's awesome.
Well, the thing I realized though is my Technos Arcade 1, it won't do the update. It tries to do the update and it fails every time. I don't know why. But I don't know. It doesn't stop it from playing or anything, so I don't know what the deal is with the update.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's always fun to have to mess with. But yeah, I mean, this was So yeah, it's for marketing, but it is. I'm hoping over time we can have like favorites lists. You can see what time is played. You could play a random game and then put in that card. But I wonder though, do you think they'll go the Polymega route and let you back up and like copy your collections internally or to like a USB key or something?
I don't know. The other thing I was thinking is like if there was like if you could have friends, like if you could have an account and have a friend list or whatever, you could look up your friends and see what games they had. But, that's not a thing. So
yeah, again, it would be cool. Like those systems are good if you can share it with your friends and you can have like, online matches in sports or games, stuff like that, right? Like,
yeah, like that.
Problem is, if you check your friend and he has a game, you can't do anything with that game with them, right? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Oh, Crow has this game. Oh, I wish I could play it with him.
Yeah. You'd have to do something where one person owns it and all that.
Yeah, because it's kind of useless to know what your friends are. Because like Atari has it with the VCS, they have the friends, but you can actually play with them in certain games, right? There's multiplayer. But anyway.
Yeah, that would be the other thing. Is what good would knowing what the other person has do too if you can't even play the game with them?
Yeah, it is what it is. I think I think it's more of a hey, you don't own this. Scan this QR code. It brings you to a site in your region, and hey, go buy it. Like I think is that's what it's there for, really.
Yeah,
and for people who do like having their collections, saying, "Oh, I missed this one. I can't believe I missed this one." But by putting the Y on to now auto update, like as a quality of life, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of putting carts in to lock it knowing you don't own it. Yeah. That's all right. I'm glad they did it because I just went through Y 55 times.
but but the downside though too is like to show you the games that you don't have. If one of the games you don't have is a legacy cart, it's like, well, now you're gonna have a hard
that
time
QR
getting
code
it.
better take you to eBay.
Yeah.
You can do a view, and you can just have it only show the carts that you own, so that way.
Well, the whole point was like really like you don't really need to see in the Evercade what carts you own because these are physical carts. You could literally have them and see.
Yeah, exactly. I just look on my shelf. I'm like, yeah, I have them.
So really, the whole point is to show you what carts you don't own.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like sometimes I forget all the games. Now, what I would like is you can't go to a game and just. I wish you could go to a game and start it up, and it would just say insert that cart. Like
it does say that.
It does say that.
It does say that. You
Did
go
you
select the
look
game
at
and it says insert cart.
I just installed it and I knew that right away.
Like you can go to the game and you can view all the screenshots, but there's not a button that says.
It says insert
You
cart.
select the screenshot and it pulls up that game. You can even see the blurb and everything for the game, like the whole thing, your description. And then it says, if you have the cart inserted, it says play game. If you don't have the cart inserted, it says insert cart.
Okay, you have to have so you have to have the cart inserted.
Yes. Well, you don't have the cart.
If you don't, it says insert cart.
Yeah.
But will it go directly to that game, or will it go directly to the game? Oh, okay.
It goes directly to the game if you have the cart inserted.
And if you don't,
yeah.
I swear I went under the screenshots and it didn't have. Okay.
You have to click on the screenshot. You have to click on that game. You have to select that game.
And then any of the screenshots.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing though too is that. When you're looking, you can look at it by collection or by game. You could pull up on the screen every single game, all 400 games.
That's what I did. That's why I knew there was 51 sports games. So I'm like, oh shit, I remember I like that game. Oh, I got to get the cart. It says insert cart and tells you.
Okay, good. They do have. Oh, good. I'm glad I was wrong about that because that makes it. Now they just need They just need like a randomizer.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, it's a pretty actually polished little. I guess feature they added there. It's just me and Crow found it out right away. It's meant for you to go and find what you don't have to buy the games, which is pretty cool too, I guess, for a business point of view. But we don't know what the point is. Like nobody told us what the point of this was. Is it the start of something, or is this just it? You know what I mean? Is there going to be more features added to this?
Because when I looked at it, I was like, okay, what's the purpose of having the library here? And I was like, oh, well, the purpose benefits Blaze more than it does the user because it tells the user what games they don't have.
You know what I'd like I'd love them to do if they do in hardware revision is put an SD card slot in there. I know it's tough because they can get hacked and they don't have the technical wherewithal to lock that out. Shit, Sony and them can't even do that. Just so that I could back up if I owned a cart, I could back it up on an SD card. That would be awesome. One day.
Yeah. See, I wondered about, or what what they could even do now is they could just let you put a USB key into port 4 and just save it directly to that, or the internal hard drive.
That's true. Yeah. Do they still make USB storage devices?
Yes.
Or is everything an SD card? Like a little storage SD card for USB. Do they still make those? Those was super popular a long time ago.
A flash drive?
Yeah. Do they still make those?
Yeah. I use them all the time.
Oh, I don't I only just use SD cards because everything I own has an SD slot.
Because I have my capture device and I just capture directly onto a flash drive. I could capture an SD card too, but I'm going to use the USB port because it's more convenient.
Yeah, I guess I just don't. Not something I look to order or find or need, right?
No, they're all. In fact, if you go to Micro Center, you could get them.
We don't have Micro Center.
I have. Well, you go online. A lot of people don't have Micro Centers buy online.
I guess what I'm saying is I just don't have a need to. I've never had a need in a long while to have one. That's all.
In fact, my 3D printer, I have a USB for that. I just copy the file onto there, and I can print directly from.
Hey Nick, how you doing, bud?
And that I had to get a USB-C, a flash drive for that. So
yeah, I know that's cool. It's cool they dropped it out. Did they say in any of the? Because I didn't read any of their announcements or something. Did they give a clue on why they did this?
Why they did the library?
The update. Did they is there any spiel on that, Ed?
No. But so here's something that and like how Jason's Everest that. So here's one thing that I was wondering, kind of what you're saying too. What if you could put in a cart, have a copy to the internal, because we have 4 gigs of space to the internal drive or USB, and then kind of be like the Poly Mega, where now you don't have to.
Yeah,
That's
that
not
would
gonna
be a
happen.
great idea. And then it's then you don't have an SD slot, so maybe put 10 gigs in there, and that you could back up a whole lot of your collection on like 5 or 10 gigs, right?
That would be great, but I don't think that'll happen because that's probably going to go against the licensing agreements that they agreed to. They're not going to say it probably cannot copy that ROM off of that cartridge.
Yeah, but like you can like every game that comes out installs to the hard drive for PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. So I don't think you're legally allowed to back up a
yes.
game.
However, in those cases, you still have to have the disc in the system to play the game. And if you're buying it digitally, you have to be logged.
No, but the digital ones you don't.
You still have to be logged into your account, and there's no way.
Yeah, but like you don't have to be online though. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But within the Evercade's case though too, it's like, what's to prevent you from taking all your carts, copying all your games to an internal storage device, and then selling off your carts?
Yeah, I guess we can go down a rabbit hole. Like honestly, like there's all these games are available for free anyway. There
are a handful of them where it's like where they aren't.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
it's no big deal. I don't really like I said.
Yeah, that would be great. I would agree with that. Yeah, it'd be great if I take my carts and insert them in every time I want to play. But that's defeating the whole point of the Evercade being in heavy control.
No.
If they did that though, they might come out with a VS that might have like a bigger internal hard drive, and then if they did that, I would hope either an SD card slot or they would let you put in a USB in your existing. Now, here's the feature that what I would like to be able to do, maybe with something like an EverSD. Back everything up, put your whole legit collection on an SD card, and then put it in Super Pocket. So that way you're not like so that way you could bring that with you to travel, and you're not, or like your EXP, you're not risking your whole collection. That for me, that would be like a good use case.
Well, the thing is, I can back up my collections without an EverSD.
Yeah, because you modified that thing. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I made my own adapter, so I could just copy a file straight to my computer.
Right, but if you wanted to play those back in Evercade, then you'd have to like copy it over like a legit cart.
And the problem that's actually literally a backup.
Yeah. But then you're limited to the cell. Like I think that was the biggest one, like 500 megs or something. Like
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like literally, a lot of these cartridges don't really take up any. You'd be surprised how small some of these.
I know.
These cartridges.
But what I mean is, if you wanted to, you couldn't fit your whole collection like on a legit cart unless you did like some like soldering. It might be. But
I don't know. No, it'd be more than that. Without actually modifying the hardware, like literally, even if I went in, remember how I said I was going to fix asteroids? I was going to say, okay, well, it's not asteroids deluxe, it's asteroids. If you modify like one character in any of those files, it knows, and it will not make won't even let the game show up at all. If you insert the cart and all the games pop up except for asteroids.
I see. So you could back them up and not play them on. Yeah. See, that's. But so here's.
So you have to modify the hardware. You have to do a custom firmware upgrade to the hardware itself in order for it to see that.
So here's kind of a working theory. Like I can't. On a live stream, I can't remember there was a few viewers. We kind of figured out that I think we know why Capcom won't give us a physical cart, or why Taito, and it's for the stupidest reason. But because something like the EverSD exists, they're concerned that people would back up and copy their ROMs. But there's like so many other ways you could play any of those games, anyways. And so, but if they put it on something like a Super Pocket that's not connected to a cart,
I don't think that's the reason. That can't be the reason.
But it wouldn't surprise me because a lot of like those video game companies are that dumb and out of touch in their way of thinking.
No. Even back in the day, they knew there were ways that people were copying their games. Especially with the SNES, there were a lot of cartridge copiers for that.
Oh yeah,
that didn't stop them from putting games out.
No, but that was a different time. I'm just saying now because like Capcom is really weird. They use DRM and they don't want.
Honestly, it doesn't matter. It's like it doesn't matter what they put out. You could easily, like, if you know where to look, you're gonna find a pirated version of it. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
No,
Everything exists everywhere.
That's not the reason.
No, but I'm just saying, like, how do I put this? Like, especially like corporate thinking in America is very like bass backwards when it comes to stuff like that. So it wouldn't surprise me. That's all. That's all.
But
Like,
you know what? But
corporate America.
But you literally have to go out of your way to copy it off of the Evercade cartridge. But like, if you say,
always got noise going on there. He's printing something.
Oh, this? No, I'm actually like messing with this thing.
Okay, you know that new game of the month thingy? That's hard as balls.
I haven't looked at it.
it's fun.
It's not. It's the checkpoints aren't like right. Like I made it almost all halfway through the level and I didn't get a checkpoint. That's stupid.
Well, luckily you can make your own checkpoints with save states.
I don't want to do that, Ed. Leave me alone.
The fact that you guys are
I just forgot that actually we do have save states.
The
fact that you guys are talking about how hard the game is makes me think it's actually
no, it's not hard. I'm just bad at it.
Well, you're not the only people. Like I keep hearing, like, "Oh, this game is hard," and I'm like,
"Oh, get over yourself! Get over yourself!"
Yeah.
You know, I've seen you play games.
You see me play games?
Yes. You're not the top banana in games.
I'm definitely not. But I know I'm not going to say if a game is hard.
I don't think it's hard. It's just that I find it's a little twitchy. That like I find the jump not great in it, but I just need to get used to it. I just started playing it.
I'll worry about playing it when it comes out of Indie Heroes Collection 4.
Yeah, I like test driving it because that's what I can't believe I haven't opened up Indie Heroes 3. Remember how much I talked about how much I was going to love that collection? I still haven't opened it. Yeah, like I need to play it. Okay, that's my job this weekend. I'm going to play that collection.
Hard as balls, balls squishy. When is Evercast? I don't know. And we could all do that. What I would say more the question is when is that going to be built into the Evercade, like Katie's challenge? Then that would be a lot more fun. So here's like that is kind of fun to do. But here's my whole thing with the challenges for me. Like I love bragging rights. And I want like the bragging rights. Like I want like the whole community to be able to see it. So like I want like let me put it this way. I don't like for me things like that. I don't want to say it's pointless. And for those who like to do Katie's challenges and things like that, it's fun. But I want the recognition, right? You know what I mean? But we might bring that back at some point.
I keep forgetting that that's actually a thing.
Yeah, I know. I think there's a lot. I don't know. There's a lot to talk about, but we might. But to hint for it, if there was some built-in features to like assist with that, would be awesome.
You mean the 5-minute challenge? You could do a challenge. It's just it could be 5 minutes. It could be, and if it's not a score-based game, it could be how far can you get in 5 minutes.
Yeah. No, I do. Dude, I would love that if there was like leaderboards for them at Dodo, like the Evercade community. I would love that. Luke's challenge.
Well, the Facebook group does a good job of that. They have lots of stuff going on.
Well, also on Discord, you know.
Yeah, but I don't know. Let's say like early on there was like what game was it on Mega Cats? What's the like the one like I can't remember, but like. There were some games
to pull up the library and select the card to see what game it is.
But like, let's just say early on, like they would say you could use save states before that, and it like basically, you know, like it enabled people to cheat like way too easily.
Well, that's why you'd have to do the other mode, the competition mode. But just having that icon of the trophy doesn't really. It's so easy to circumvent that. You could so easily fake that. I wanted.
God, Tanzer, Jesus, can't believe it. But like early on, there was a way you could use like save states, and you could use Tanzer, and people had like a 999 score, and so the problem is, and you see this in speed, where like it's human nature, like somebody's gonna cheat and spoil it for everybody. So like unless there's like mechanisms in the system to circumvent that, then I kind of feel like I'm wasting it. Really, the only way to get around that is to stream it live. That's
why most speedrunners do their attempts live.
Yes. because when you watch video like Carl's Jobs like finds like a cheater, it's like always people like who like recorded offline that like no one's ever like heard of.
My favorite was the guy who did a I think more than one person have actually done this, where they've done it offline and they've kind of spliced it all together, but then they made the stream and they played the video on the stream and just pretended like they were playing.
Oh yeah, there's ways you can get around, but I would like to think if it's something that's built in, or there's a very easy way that Blaze could do this. Why we'd like to be built into the console, because we have the QR codes. Go to their website. They wouldn't even have to make an app. Make it mobile friendly. Sign up. Create an account. And then if you had to scan the QR code to send the score every time, yeah, it would be better to have it built in. But
you're talking about exactly what they did with Circus Convoy for the Atari 2600.
Yes, yeah. Hey, Gandalf is here.
Well, hello.
Saga.
Circus Convoy was pretty good. I liked it.
Ooh. Dude, that's very cool. Being able to mark games as complete. We're looking at the future library. Yeah, see, that would be how great would that be for you to be able to mark off what games?
Oh yeah, I could just mark every game as complete and just say I completed every game.
Well, of course, but I mean, it's for you though. Like having to do, like at one point in time, I was going to maintain a spreadsheet, but just like for my own knowledge.
Yeah.
I guess by this point, all of these features are, I don't know, don't excite me that much because I've already created a spreadsheet that has all the games in it. And if I wanted to mark them as complete or not, I could do that.
Sure. But it's great, though, having it integrated. Like, for me, though, this makes the product feel more premium. Plus, as someone said, imagine you just bought an Evercade, you don't watch YouTube, you don't know what games are out. Like, I would have loved this in the beginning. Like, how great would this have been?
Plus, I don't have to turn on the Evercade to see what games I completed.
Just say I'm too much of an old man, and I don't want these features. No, it's all good. I mean, it's great to have options, right? Like you never have if you didn't want to use any of these features, no one's forcing you to. You would never have to look at it and all that.
I will give it that. That whole library thing is off. It's a whole separate option that you don't even have to select if you don't care about it. So there's that.
Yeah.
People, when I was bringing it up, there were people that were comparing it to how they didn't like how things like Zaccaria Pinball and Pinball Effects would show you all the tables, even the ones you didn't own, with and they would highlight the ones you didn't own. Be like, hey, you didn't own this, but you have to look at it.
Is a completed list in his phone. Yeah, but that would be neat just to check up because I'm curious for myself what games have I completed. It's not like Blaze is gonna send you money $1,000. You know what I mean? So it's kind of just
they're not. Then what am I doing this for?
Notebook since 8 years old. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Wow. He kept it. I know, right? But yeah,
man, if I had a notebook when I was 8 years old, I guarantee you I would not have that notebook anymore at this point. That notebook would be gone.
Yeah, props in. But no, we say we want firmware updates and enhancements to the UI, and they did come out with 2 new themes. So I think this is a neat step in the right direction. Yes, it no secret it helps out marketing, but yeah, I think it adds premium wise, and because if you compare it to something like Emulation Station or other free emulation product, that download the box art and do all that, this is kind of a neat. Kind of a neat little. I think they need to add in the add in the manuals. Maybe that's the next step. I mean, that would be a lot of games.
I mean,
you have the controls. I think that's good enough. I mean, how much that download was still almost half a gig. It was actually over half a gig. Now that I think about it, initially. So
it was 494.
Yeah. And then
that was the second update. I think the first update was actually bigger.
Well, I just installed
it and waited until this morning's update.
Yeah, I just installed the hotfix, and that's 360 or 370 megabits.
Yeah,
and
they wiped the entire. I think they wiped the entire OS or a big portion of it when they update the OS.
Yes,
it feels that way, right? It's always a big update.
Yeah, well, first, and then they also have to back it up first, so they can fall back on it in case something goes wrong.
Which kind of makes sense, right? They only have so much, ability to patch and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, Rich, I know you're getting into here late, but what do you think about, like, we were talking about the firmware, the Polymega thing. We were kind of talking about all those things, the revisions of the possible revisions of the VS and EXP. What's your take?
I'm for any of those things happening. Like, you know, I like the new firmware. I really like the library thing. We were talking about wish list items though. For that, I wish that in a future update they would go back and on things like Namco, Namco Museum Collection 1, like some of the early carts, when you go to a specific game, you get like their little blurb that they wrote about the game. Starting in, I don't know, like cartridge like 20 something and up, they started doing like the history thing and the Katie Says thing. I'd want them to go back and actually like write those all out for every cart, just so that they all look uniform. And then, like they all have like little like tidbits and history and stuff. Encourage people to go back and look at the carts and stuff. That would be neat. I would like that to happen.
That would be.
And but as far as like the layouts and all that, I mean, it's pretty awesome. I'm liking it. I'm liking all the way the layout is. And now I'm encouraged to go into this menu and maybe even starting right now is just start plugging in my collections.
But you don't need to do that.
I know you can hit the button now and just say, hey, I own this.
Yes.
But you can do the other way, and I want to. Like, I like it. I want to like put them all in and see what happens.
I wonder if this update would, because I was saying that I was inserting all the carts before that first update, and what I discovered was you know how they did the thing with the update where the carts were being updated?
Mm-hmm.
So I was updating the carts as I was going along. I found that my Technos Arcade 1 won't update.
Oh, okay.
It keeps coming up with an error, and it won't. So it's like error, unable to update, and it's like it forces me to reboot. And the second it reboots, it's like, hey, you want to update your cart? Okay, unsuccessful, and it reboots.
Put it in the super pocket and see if it asks you.
I'm gonna try
maybe
to do update.
And I only say
there was something about that. I don't know. I mean, it looks like Ryan's here.
Yes.
I don't know if that was in the hot fix or something like that. But
that's what I'm gonna try.
Something like you can go into the other sub menu and then do the force update
through the system update.
Yeah.
I could try that.
Yeah, try that or something like that.
Super pocket fix. Oh, so I was highlighting it earlier. I do like that it will remember your collection. So if you did just say only display the cards that I own, then you won't feel bad. Like if Namco and all that doesn't show up.
Right.
Oh, okay. So I'm kind of glad that he asked about will we be able to buy, and then he said, "I see a restock is happening." I'll be curious to see if the restock happens at the same time that we get the new hardware, or if it will this happen before.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, yeah. But as far as the new hardware thing, I don't know if Phantom's here, but yeah, he was talking about some really good.
It's not asking me to update anymore.
Oh, well, there you go.
What do you mean?
Did it update?
I don't know. It was asking me to update it, and I wouldn't update. And now I inserted it in, and it's like it's not even asking me. So I'm going to see if there's no. Okay, whatever.
Sweet.
It's fine, I guess.
maybe it did it.
It did it before, and it was just telling me it didn't.
Oh, sweet. Ryan says they are going to do that. Success. That makes me happy.
Oh, they're going to take Rich's suggestion. Awesome.
I like that. I like that a lot. But as far as
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. You know what I like? I have a new channel member, Anna Piranha. Thank you so much for
Piranha.
Thank you so much,
Piranha.
I always appreciate it.
Well, welcome.
Although you could make it rhyme, Anna Piranha. Anna Piranha.
Oh, yeah. So you know what I do have to do?
Oh yeah!
Nice. That's good times.
Savage.
So, but as far as the new hardware stuff goes, yeah, I'm definitely with Phantom on like that whole expanded hard drive space VS unit or something like that.
Oh yeah,
you can start dumping your carts onto it, and then because you have the library, you can just put all your games on there, and then just do game roulette. Just be like, I feel lucky. Just hit a button and start playing games. That'd be cool.
A roulette button. See, look at it. I own everything, even though I don't even have those new cards. I even have those new ones that haven't been out yet.
See.
See here, so I know, like you say, Crow, you can like look up stuff, but yeah, like with Crash on this, like it's neat that it's funny because he thought he would hate the updates, but you could remember like 4-player. Yeah, it's like a reference in one, and in one spot. Gene Joke says I'll have to record a video of the new Katie Says old carts. Oh, because in my videos I always will talk in that voice and I read the Katie Says.
See, and this is where it says insert cart. If you insert the cart, then I can play the game.
All right.
Since it's an overcautious safety check and it causes a false positive.
Okay.
But they're gonna fix it. Awesome. See, I love that. They're gonna fix it. Cool.
So will that happen right now? Like if I were to put my Technos in, will it do the like false positive thing?
What?
Let's see.
Hey, by the way, early impressions of the game of the month. It's a banger. It's really cool. Now that I got used to the jumps and controls, I mean, it's a really good game. I see why it's $15. But I think it's kind of one of those where you have to go back and pay the levels again because certain things you can't jump high enough. So I think when you finish the first neighborhood, you're going to have to get some level increases or something, some new skills, because there's stuff that I just can't reach.
You get bat wings. Like
bat wings?
Yeah. You can't jump higher, but you can like hover across. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I need to get that then because.
I was thinking that too, Pete, because you can go back to the levels and you can get the other key. Like you can use your
the other keys. There's different color keys, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I'll have to start streaming that on my new channel.
Add wallpapers. Yeah, no, that would be cool. It does have great music.
Oh, add your own wallpapers. Yeah, there was actually 2 other things that were.
What? You can add your own wallpaper?
No, that's one of the things he wants is to add his own wallpaper.
Yeah, I just switched my theme to neon or something like that. But
yeah, that was the other thing I was going to bring up. The 2 new themes, neon and other thing. I like the neon, and I would actually with the original VS I have, I might switch it to that. But how since this is the Atomic Edition, how do I not have the Atomic Edition wallpaper on this?
Yeah, that's why that'll never come off my Duke. That's my family room one. That'll never come off my Duke.
The only thing I had to do though is the sound. I had to turn the BGM volume way down because the music is just way too intense.
If you get rid of the background, if you own the Duke and you get rid of the Duke background, Evercade needs to have a code check that just locks your VS automatically. You're
not allowed to play this anymore. What are you doing? You're not allowed to play.
What are you doing? Are you stupid? You're not allowed to play it.
Actually, what it should do is like if you go to theme and you go to select anything else, it should just select Atomic.
You know what it should do?
All these should just say Atomic.
You know what it should do? And have Duke say something if you try to change it. Like little stinger.
That would be funny.
All right.
That's great. Thanks, Anna. Like the fish bites from Amazon. Happy early birthday, Ed and the gang. I'm down under. You already missed your stream because of the time factor. Love the show. Appreciate it.
Nice.
I try to accommodate, and that's why I also keep teasing. 99% sure I'll be doing a birthday stream. That maybe I'll be starting earlier.
When's your birthday?
Well, it's not to the 29th, but it's early.
Jeez, that's like 3 weeks away.
That's why he's hoping that there's going to be that update.
Yeah.
He's going to get all the news right before the birthday.
Yeah.
Did I just tune out when Ed was talking about all that? Like, I just like.
You tuned me out a lot. I don't know.
No, he's been talking about it for weeks though.
Yeah, on the show.
Oh yeah.
On this show.
Once. Yes, he has. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why I've been saying it'd be nice as a birthday present from Blades to announce like a big like IP that we get. Like
because you're the only Evercade branded channel.
He keeps talking about how he wants a new showcase at the end of the month for his birthday.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I completely tuned him out. You're right. But yeah, I barely have time to breathe. I am so busy at work. So busy at work. Why do you think I'm so behind? I'm like Crow now. I'm so behind on my Evercade stuff.
Yeah, I was really busy too for a while. Hopefully, it'll lighten up for a little bit for me.
But you know what? I should get a big pass considering everything else I've done in my YouTube career for Evercade. I should get a pass, and I'm a bit behind now.
True.
I don't know. You get a big pass because I got a big laugh out of one of your older videos earlier.
I know, right? I know, it's pretty cool. I appreciate you watching my backlog.
Well, I didn't want to watch it. I don't want to watch it until after I played it myself. So.
Yeah, no, it was kind of funny. It's like, but man, like I said though, I will own my my thoughts because Full Void I still think is one of the greatest games I played this year. Not just Evercade. I still think
it's legit real good.
Yeah, I know a lot of people disagree with me when I said that, like that I still find it one of the strongest games. I know Crow did. Crow's kind of lukewarm on it, right? So
no, it's okay. I'm just not gonna say it's the greatest game.
But I got into it, right? Like I got into it, and I kind of like it was the right time to play that game, and it was just. I still think like if you own an Evercade, you gotta own that card and give it a try. Like it's just awesome.
Yeah, my two main things with it was that it was too easy and too short.
Well, I finally played it over again, got all the achievements for myself.
Okay, I mean, I could always go back and try and get those achievements. I know there was maybe a screen or two, maybe a few of them I missed.
Yeah,
because I
missed two,
and
I went back and got them.
But like, I don't know.
So Jason, I've been asking. I'll be 45 years. I'll be 45 years young.
Oh, yeah, my birthday's coming up in actually 29th is Ed's, mine is the 8th.
Hey, my birthday's coming up too.
Nice.
It's in November.
That's cool. So Blaze is making things more robust. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I've been asking Blaze for birthday cards here. Good luck with that. Hey, one can try, right?
Right.
Ed is old enough to know how a pencil, and a cassette tape are related to. Oh my god, yeah, wow.
I think everybody on this cast is old enough to remember that.
Yeah. They'll be adding small bits to the library stuff happening wise 2024.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it could be though that they're using this library. This is just the beginning of it, and there'll be more updates to make it more robust.
Digital downloads next.
The thing with Full Void, once you start though, you can't stop playing it. Or
it's so good.
It's funny because, and I said this. I have proof that they'll never do digital downloads, right?
Wait a minute, you say once you start Full Void, you can't stop it until you're done? That
That
was like an hour.
You beat it in an hour?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. It took me like 4
Man, that's pretty good.
Like 90 minutes at most.
Wait, that's not an hour.
Yeah, the game, unless you're speed running it, you can't. An hour and a half.
If you play through the game,
An hour, that means you knew every puzzle. You didn't have to retry every
puzzles were not difficult. The puzzles were not difficult at all.
There was only like 2 or 3 that got me.
Yeah, me too. There was a couple where I failed a couple times, and I'm like, oh shoot, I died.
The one thing, I'll tell you, the one thing that I got stuck on the most was the first box I had to move because I didn't realize I could move a box.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But I was gonna say, like, here, really, really brief. Like, I played this on card, but I do have proof though that they'll never.
Well, but then you can always say never say never. But yes,
never have like a digital store. And
let's see. Well, my proof is like if you on my Crow Capture channel because I posted my playthrough
like actual digital store. Well, you may have like games in the firmware. There's no plan.
No, I mean, whenever we bring anything that's built into the device, it's always seen as a bonus. So Capcom was seen as a bonus. We would have had it as a cartridge, like we said before, but there was just no way to do it at the time, and the opportunity to bring it as a bonus was too good to pass up. We're all about the classic. We're all about physical. We're all about the nostalgic gaming experience. So as far as Evercade is, and as far as Evercade's brand and ethos and the way we're doing things, digital is bonus only. It's not part of the core makeup. We're never going to have a digital store. We're certainly not going to involve ourselves in being a digital publisher in that way, because that's a whole nother nightmare that I have to work out from a
Thank you,
logistic point
because
of
I'm
view.
like that's what like the Steam Deck already does that. Like Evercade is special. Like it needs to be the device that doesn't do it. But every now and then people will bring it up in the community. I'm like, no. That's Evercade's vision is to be old school, to be cartridges. Even if times get difficult where it takes longer to get stuff, we're still going to be physical. You know, that's what we want.
I mean, there is definitely a hole in the market for that, which the Switch mostly addresses, I think, but it obviously doesn't address it enough because people are still asking for it. You know, they're asking for that kind of Wii Virtual Console style. I want to download these games and have them on the device kind of thing. Like people still want to buy and play these games. You know, there's streaming options, there's physical options like us, there's digital options like the Switch and the Xbox consoles. But there is obviously a hole of some kind in the market there that people are wanting to buy it. It's just one of those things of having to then do those digital store rights, get those kind of things, get the right amount of investment into it, and then get enough sales out of it that the Switch is like, what is it now, the third biggest console on earth in history?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Just go with the Switch. It just makes it so much more easy for that kind of thing. And
exactly, and you don't want to be a Switch or you don't want to be a Steam Deck, and I love that, and that's why there is that market. But the other thing too, don't forget, is all the games we get on Evercade are complete.
Are we just reacting
because
to
like
this?
some games on the Switch, like you don't get, are too big. So that's the other important thing is like when you have that cart, you've got it. As long as you own that physical cart, you've got the game. You can pop it in. You don't have to worry about any nonsense DRM or any of that other.
Yeah.
Okay,
So that's
you really confused me because I was like, "Oh, is he here now?" And I was like, "I'm not wearing that shirt."
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I specifically asked Sean, and so listen, and they've stayed true to that. That's what like, hey, it's either bonus content or they don't want to maintain having a store in the nightmare and all that. So yeah, what I want to know is, will I have to break the piggy? No, I don't think so. I think that it's just going to be revisions and reskins from what we've seen. That's what I think. I would like to see like a cheaper VS with no games might excite me more. Because I'm like, maybe it might make a case for getting a second one. I don't know though. Do you guys want to finish up the last two games on the C64 collection too, and then we're done with that cart forever?
Yes, we could just do that.
And then we could talk about what we want to do next, because there's only two more freaking games, and we've gotten through it. You can hear the excitement in my voice, right?
Wait, did somebody mute me?
No.
Somebody what?
I muted you because your game was really loud.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
So if you didn't like summer games, you're probably not going to like this one.
yeah. Which one is this?
World Games.
World Games. You know what's funny is I remember playing this one a lot when I was a lot, and then after I played it here, I realized, oh, it was just the ice skating barrel jumping competition that I played a lot. So ultimately, I still like this one, but I think this is my third favorite summer games. I don't know if I would say I'd like this one more or less than California Games. Let's see here.
Oh, I like it a lot better.
No, yeah, actually fourth, because I liked California Games more. So, we've got how many? Like, there's 8. I need to pull up the manual for this.
Yeah, this.
So I know which events there are in here.
For me, it's like, listen, I didn't like having to jump into this. I don't know. I like the simplicity of like track and field. So yeah, I don't. I did not like this at all. Could not force myself to play it or get into it.
I remember playing this
with multiple players.
People, yeah. California Games.
Yeah, no more. I mean, we want purple cards. No more blue unless they're Atari collections. And even then, I'm willing to sacrifice Atari if we could have more purple for indie.
Yeah, don't listen to him. Give us everything.
No. Listen,
so
this is how bad I want like arcade. Because listen, I understand there's people who don't care about Atari as much as like maybe I don't like these games. I'd even be willing to sacrifice Atari Activision if we get some big bangers. Yes, I will put that up on the altar, even though I really
every platform has really good games on it.
Define really good. Like,
you can't get unless you've seen.
I know that like the Jaguar is like beloved, but
there's only
decent.
I personally wouldn't want to see Jaguar, but if we did, you'd have to give us Tempest 2000, maybe Alien versus Predator. Aside from that, I don't really know. Like the other games that I'd want to see on it would just be games that were bad, but still memorable because they're bad.
True, but every platform has its fans. That 100%, Rob. I think that's more of a fair. I think that's more of a fair statement.
So
because
there are the events here. Weightlifting is all about timing. So yeah, it's, weightlifting's okay, but it's kind of pointless. See if you can fast forward. We could get through these events.
Yeah, I had to check. I was like, did the video like pause itself?
No, just
there we go.
Okay, barrel jumping, easily my favorite event. If the whole game was just barrel jumping, I'd be fine with it. This is like so my favorite event in this. It's go back forth, the speed, and then just when you screw up, it's hilarious as well. We could see if we could get to the next event. Some of these events are like in the video that you've got go on for a really long time because I played with like 8 people.
Let's see if you can make the barrel jump here.
Oh, I can make the barrel jump. But I purposely in my video made sure to have screw ups in there. Cliff diving is kind of funny. There's actually more to cliff diving than you would think because you've got to take into consideration. There's no reason you could choose different platforms to jump on off of, but there's no reason not to pick the the highest one because you get the most points from that one. But you've got to you can make sure you don't hit the cliff wall. You have to make sure you enter straight down. You have to keep. You can see the wind is blowing, so you have to take that into consideration as well. But there's one thing you also have to be sure of, and what? Yeah, I don't know if I'm coming with this. And yeah, he hit the wall. But the funny thing is if you're looking at the little upper left-hand corner of the screen there, you can see the water level. You get the most points by entering the water when it's at its highest. Yeah. See it's all this timing too.
I think maybe you like this because it's really technical for the reason it's too technical and too realistic. Like I want my sports games to be like NBA.
I wouldn't say this is very realistic, but okay.
Oh, but I mean, like taking in it's like taking in the wind factor, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's just like,
well, that's the same reason I like golf games. You're looking at all these variables to figure out what would be your best choice of action.
Yeah,
and also this is about competing against other players as well. So if you're playing against a whole bunch of other players, it becomes more fun too.
Exactly, and that's where the sports. No, agreed 100%. And that's where the sports game shines.
Because if everybody's screwing up, it just becomes hilarious.
Yeah,
so we can skip on to the next one.
Your guy and have him go. That would be kind of like. It'd be like Roblox. Make you think of the Fallen.
All these little events. I like.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion on all these games are kind of the same. There's usually 1 or 2 events that I tend to play over and over again. It's not my cup of tea, but it is what it is. Hey, Canada's in it, so I like that.
Canada's.
So that makes it at least a 3 out of 10.
You know it's real because it looks so fake.
That's hilarious.
Actually, the graphics are really good on this, considering when it came out. That dive physics was amazing.
I also think you get a lot of points for entering in as close to the wall as you can too. I'm not 100% sure about it.
True, the game is. It so happens to be though that maybe a lot, but a good portion of some of these games that we get ported over, I don't feel like because around this time, computer games were the controls weren't necessarily always as good as console. Like some games there were stuff for some of them they've got it right, but that's just because game they're more designed for point and click and use more for a keyboard and mouse. So it's iffy.
Okay. Don't say that with the Commodore 64. Most people on the Commodore 64 didn't have a mouse, and even if you did have a mouse, it wouldn't work with this game.
With the controller, but yeah, there are Jumpman. There's exceptions like Jumpman. Yes, I had to kind of get used to it.
Let me tell you, nobody, absolutely nobody I knew had a mouse for the Commodore 64. In fact, there's very few pieces of software that would actually support a mouse for the Commodore 64. It's mainly just a joystick and a keyboard. In most games, you never had to use the keyboard.
Well, that's good. I think it's just like it's like also getting into the game and all that. I don't know, like for the Intellivision, like the virtual keyboard just seemed to work like so much better for getting into games, but for this,
well, it's because on the C64, it was a full keyboard. Yeah, that you're emulating. On the Intellivision, you're emulating what, 6 buttons or whatever.
Yeah.
Plus, here on the Evercade, if
go.
there were games that used the keyboard, they remapped them to buttons on the controller. So most of the time, the only time you would need to pull up the keyboard for like a game like this is for entering in your player's name.
Yeah. I only had a keyboard and the joystick. Yeah, no mouse. Yeah. So that's good to know.
All right. I think we beat this horse pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't gotten through all the events.
Oh.
Uh,
I got speed through this. Good enough.
Log rolling.
No log rolling.
Which is, it's difficult once you get the hang of it. But
no, just choose the Canadian and you'll be fine.
Canadian.
Wow, you played this for a long time, or?
Yeah, this goes on for a long time because there was a because the computer would not go down one time. Bull riding I find to be when you select your bull, what you're actually doing is selecting how difficult it is. Basically, when the bull moves, you have to move the direction in which the bull moves. But like I could only do it on the easiest bull. I could never do it on the second or third bull. So I don't know what's up with that. So bull riding happens to be my least favorite of that group.
It sounds like a bunch of bull to me. Sorry. Good Lord.
Caber toss is awesome. Especially when you screw up.
Looks like Roddy. It reminds me of Roddy Piper. Is that a kilt?
Well, yeah, it is a kilt. This is the Highlands.
Crash. Yeah, fellow Canadian Crashline can confirm Canadian youth are trained to log rolling as part of their kindergarten training. Then they have to guzzle. Then they have to guzzle a piping hot Timmy's. What are Timmy's? Pete, what are Timmy's?
Tim Hortons.
It's coffee.
Oh, okay. That's yeah.
I mean, I've never been to Canada, and I do that. Sumo wrestling, yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Once you know how to play it, playing against a computer isn't that fun. Maybe this would be more fun against another player.
Probably. All right, so let's go to the other. Go to this.
Barrel jumping. Yeah, I think I don't think we did the slalom skiing, but that was actually pretty good too. Yeah, we skipped slalom skiing. Okay, this game actually surprised me. This game was really good.
I wanted to like this, and maybe I don't know. Like these kind of games are just I don't know. I just can't get it. I don't know. I just can't get it. I don't know what it is. This is one of the better ones, but for me though, like I don't find myself glamoring to put in this card. Like the third collection, I did to play Jumpman, right? Like
Well, the thing is, I think this was a budget game, but I was kind of surprised at how good it actually was. You have different weapons. The only thing about this game, the thing it's not really that fun about the game is you kind of have to go through it as fast as possible. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to survive.
I knew there was something to ruin it for me. No.
Yeah, you're going to run out of time. I think that's what it is. Because you're on a time limit. And unless you book it through the game, you're not going to make it to the end. And it's a very difficult game.
Secret. Like what do you use to research? Do you just...
Well, I actually look up a lot of sites. It depends on what kind of game it is. Because like you're going to find different information in different places depending on whether or not it's an arcade game, Commodore 64 game. But like a good place to look, like one of the places I always look is like GameFAQs. Another place to look is like there's a C64 wiki for Commodore 64 games, arcade history, Moby Games. I look up try to find the manuals for the games whenever I can. I just do like a Google search for search specific games and whatever comes up. Another good thing I find interesting information is the cutting room floor will oftentimes have information about things that may not have made it in the game.
Yeah, I like Crashline said that you performed the game, sleeping under your pillow and then telling it as it's a good game. Yeah, I like his story better too.
Well, again, this isn't like the best game. It was just better than I thought. I gave this one a 7 out of 10.
Wow. Yeah, I think for me,
I could actually beat this game. So
yeah,
you just have to make it through it really quick.
I think for me though, I like all Discovery, but the blue carts in the beginning, it was kind of like, hey, this is something new. But then we've gotten so many of them. I'm like, all right, already, let's.
You can't say that because we haven't gotten as many blue carts as any other, color. We have the least amount of blue carts.
That is correct.
Yeah, but
so you can't say you're interested in Discovery and then say you don't want the cartridges that have the games you've never played before.
I want good Discovery though, right? Like that.
That's a ridiculous statement.
Everything, man.
No, like we had like
say that, and you said you just want games you like.
No, but
that's the only Discover games he likes. He
yeah,
doesn't
that's
want to
what I mean.
Games he doesn't like.
Yeah,
the majority of the viewers are tired of blue. They really are. Like that's
who.
I've done, like just from like the comments, and like
your channel is it's tiny compared to the big channels who are talking about this, hundreds and almost a million subscribers, right? I don't think you're going to see the end of blue. I think you're going to see more blue this year.
Good deliveries, yeah. I mean, the best blue card that they had, in my opinion, was the Computer Heroes because it's like all homebrew games and all that. So like the system's capable. It's just
okay. Wait. They're not technically all homebrew games because Citadel. Okay, think about it this way: what you consider to be homebrew or indie games now are made exactly the same way those games were made back 40 years ago. So they're still like the same thing pretty much. The only difference is that they were still made by one or two people, just that back then there were major publishers that published them.
Well, here's
now they're not.
Here's the other problem too that and I've realized it's not like the C64's fault. It's just they can't get the licenses for the really good games. Like we get that's like the.
But we have gotten really good games.
I don't know.
Again, you can't. This is a conversation that nobody wins because it's so subjective. You can't win this discussion. It's like you can't. Like I only want Microsoft to make Halo games. Like that's the same thing because that's all I want to play. Like you can't.
It's not about winning. It's about I want Blaze to hear I want Blaze to hear the opinion of like don't oversaturate our market with blue cards. That's all.
Oversaturated. We're oversaturated with console carts.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, those are we could use more. We could use more of those too. It's just like
oh my god.
It's just, I don't know. They always do this, right? They put out their not as exciting carts. Then slowly now we're getting Sunsoft too, and then they'll drop like a little awesome
for you. These are
for you, Ed, but you don't speak for everybody. That's the whole point, right? Like that's like.
I was personally glad to see Home Computer Heroes.
Me too. I'm like,
even though I didn't really like Team 17 that much, I was glad to see it because I never played those games before.
Me too. That's what I said. Like I never had a computer as a kid, so hey, it's just hit or miss for the taste of the games. But that's
true.
It's like I think like a lot of times people can fall in the trap of fanboyism and tribalism, and if it's not something that personally scratches the itch for me, I automatically dislike it or don't want it anymore. But I mean, you can't say you're open for discovery and new things and then not be open to it, right? Like
no, but I am. But it's like it's kind of like
open. Yeah, if you're open to it, you're gonna realize like, oh, maybe I don't like this so much. It's like trying out new food. I've never had this food before. You don't know if you're gonna like it or not, but it's
no. But at the same time, of fanboyism, I don't think. like I'm just being brutally honest. Like I'm not going to say every single card is awesome. I'm going to say yes, some cards are better than others. Because here's kind of the different perspective that I'll say. For me, like I think with something like Evercade, it's more. Don't want to say it's more of a way of life, but like I look forward to these collections. I look forward to the surprise. You all are like behind. You're playing it. They're like you don't get as maybe you don't look forward to Evercade as much as I do. I don't know, but like I really like.
You can't say that either, right? Like, it's just that like those are separate things, right? You are a very big fanboy of it. You have that tribalism with it, so it's just letting you know that not everybody is like that, right? Or they might have fanboyism, but their fanboyism could be we're open to all this discovery, right?
Oh yeah.
Like that's what I love about it. I really want an old computer. I'm not looking forward to Spectrum collections, but there might be a gem that I actually like in that collection too.
Yeah, I agree with that. I am totally not looking forward to a collection of Spectrum games, but I'm still going to play them.
That's what I'm saying. Tell me now if they announce a Spectrum collection, you guys would be like, oh, that's
well, I've said that from day one, but I'm still excited to see what that home computer had to offer and why it was so popular back in the day.
Yeah, I got at least try to understand it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And for $24, if I can learn something and have a little bit of fun, I'm okay with that.
Sure. But that's what I'm just saying. It's a level of excitement, right? Like when they announce a new indie dual cart or an arcade cart, that gets more excitement than the blue. That's all I'm saying. Is they're the least exciting collection.
For you, not for everybody else. It's different, right?
But like I'm saying totally for you guys, you know, unless that's what I'm saying, like. Unless you're really like, unless the blue collections are really nostalgic for you, it's like at the lowest tier. From even the people that are into like C64, they say all the time, "I wish we could have better curated games." That's all that I'm.
But that goes against what you've just said with Home Computer Heroes, because you said you really liked that one, but how could you have been nostalgic for it because you've never played those games before?
You can have nostalgia for things that you don't own, like the Neo Geo, right? Like that's something that a lot of us have nostalgia, but we never owned it. It depends.
I don't think that's true. You have nostalgia for things. The definition of nostalgia is having nostalgia for something you once owned, participated in,
or played. Yeah,
I think that's the definition of nostalgia. Let me check. Let me go to the Googles.
It's basically a reflection.
Like, wanted to, to each their own. No.
A wistful desire to return in thought or in fact to a former time in one's life, to one's home or homeland, or to one's family and friends. A sentimental yearning for happiness of a former place or time. And not, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. And everybody interprets
like it's something you've experienced, right? That's what nostalgia is, I guess, in its essence.
And in that case, I would even say that you can't be nostalgic for any game on the Evercade because you wouldn't be playing it exactly the same way you played it.
Yeah, I think that's the big gray area that you like. You know, I think you're stretching on that one, Crow.
Well, that's why I still have CRT TVs.
Yeah, but you're stretching on that one. You know, you're stretching on that one.
No, the only thing I'm just saying is of all the collections, like blue is the least exciting. That's all. That's
like
all,
I would be. If they put a PC Junior collection out, because that's the one computer I played in high school, and I still like the Snoopy games, like and the Math Builder games and Math Blaster, I would be super nostalgic for that. And that's the only computer collection I would be super nostalgic for.
I'll tell you which ones I'm not looking forward to are the anything Pico related. I'm not looking forward to another Pico collection.
Like I'd be super nostalgic for a ColecoVision collection, like. But that's why I love arcade games so much too, and the arcade collection, because I played a lot of those games in the arcade back in the day. I used to work in an arcade, so I played a lot of those arcade games. So
yeah,
but yeah.
Well, see, and that's if they did a year and they only released arcade carts, I don't think you would get somebody to say, "Oh no." I think if they just released a year of like blue carts, I think people would say, "I'm getting out of Evercade." That's kind of the.
That's you. That's you. If they put out a collection of nothing but like
Amiga games,
yeah, no, but
it would still depend on the game. You don't believe how many really bad arcade games are out there.
Yeah, there's some really bad arcade games. We got a lot of them on the Evercade.
Yeah, and Pico Interactive Collection Arcade one.
Pico will always have a soft spot for me for some reason.
All those games were by.
Now I have nostalgia for 4 years ago when I paid me and Rich played so much of Pico Interactive 1 and 2, right, Rich?
Right.
We have nostalgia for 4 years ago or 3 years ago.
There you
I
go.
mean, it's pretty good stuff, man.
It held our show together for the longest time, the Pico collections.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
for me though, like it winds up being a case of actual like for me, I will always say forever and ever and ever that Evercade is just that place for me where I get to go and get to play games that I probably never played before in my life.
Yep, that's a big
you
part
know,
for me.
every single time they put out a cart, it doesn't matter what color it is for me because
Yeah,
there's probably
I
going to be
agree.
something on there that I'm like, that was pretty cool, and it was worth my time and my $20 to get
Yep.
that and be able to experience it, and that's what Evercade means to me. So,
And you bring up a good point because I most of the console collections, I never played those games because back in the day, you only could afford me anyway one game a year. I got it for Christmas and one for my birthday.
Yep.
So I never got to own it. I rented a bunch of them, but that's, but so like even the console games, like I love it. It's discovery for me because I never got to play them back in the day. I saw them in magazines, but never played them,
mm-hmm.
I don't know how you got past here so far in this game.
I played it. That's how
It
I
was so hard.
And playing these games like for longer than I could stick with it.
I probably
Here's
played
the
this
thing.
game the most on the collection, but I still found it incredibly challenging.
Yeah, this is a hard game.
Just to get out of the first level.
Yeah.
True.
Um,
I agree 100% in that Ginger. That's what we're saying. Like pretty much every cart. Usually there's 1 or 2 games, and then it's definitely worth your time and money. So they're doing something.
The intelligent.
Oh, that's the final boss. We made it to the final boss.
The intelligent collections are the ones probably I enjoyed the majority of.
And look how much time I have left. Look how much time I have left. I was like, oh my god, can I beat this guy in under a minute and beat the game?
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, we know you beat it.
But speaking of arcade and computer collections, I think I just got through all of the ones that I can put in my little list now.
Oh, nice.
I've been putting in all my carts in the library. Went to 17 of 55.
Oh, okay. You've been physically inserting them to.
I failed to collect all the
C64
gems.
free.
Or jeans or whatever.
There we go. Arcade. Yeah, see?
It's like, you failed. Here's 1,000,000 points. Get out of here.
Right. Oh,
All right. Now I get to do the
time bonus.
All right.
time
I've got
consuming.
to run. Oh my god, it's almost 9:30. Holy crap.
Yeah, I was going to say, what collection do y'all want to do next?
Oh, well, pull up the library. See what's next. I think it's actually. What's next?
Oh yeah, we can do that now.
I'll make you solo. You're real quick before.
So
It's
Or
either.
we're sorted by newest. So we just did C64 2. Pico
Yeah.
3 is next.
It's Pico 3 or Team 17. They were both
Or Team
released
17.
on the same day. So,
That's right.
Um,
Which one do you guys want to do?
Is that the order?
Yes.
Oh, I see. You have it in descending order.
In
So, yeah.
newest, yeah, descending by
Here-
newest.
So basically, if we go exactly by what this says, it's Pico 3, but Team 17
Okay.
did come out the same day.
Let's do Pico 3 because we
Yeah,
just did computers. Let's go back to console.
Yeah, I'm
Thank you.
fine with that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to give Ed a bone. Ed's reaching.
But to be honest, this is
Okay, now chill out.
What?
We'll go through it and get your feedback then. You guys
Yeah,
are all
yeah.
you're such a hater on Pico Crow. You know, we know you got a skewed opinion.
I say that like
Ooh,
usually in a Pico collection, there's like a handful of good games, good games, and maybe one really good game, and then the rest are just garbage.
He probably feels about Pico like, wow.
Alrighty then. Until next week on that one then. I'm actually going to put it in and get a refresher on it because I don't really remember a whole lot of it, to be honest with you.
The funny thing was, it's pretty recent for me.
Yeah, I know. That's why that's why like you're going through the games kind of lines up with us reviewing them, which is really cool because you can add the knowledge, right?
Well,
Yeah.
even some of these games on the C64 collection too, I was forgetting some stuff and why I felt the way I did about them. Like I had
No,
to see
Gene,
it.
you go piss off. No way am I completing all the Pico 3 games.
That's
I will say that I didn't play 40. One of my least played games on that collection
Yeah,
was
like
40
everybody
Winks.
was excited about 40 Winks. I own it, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
There wasn't really. There's not too many good N64 games, in my opinion.
Even bad games I'll play a lot. I just couldn't play that one very long because I could not, because it was made for analog stick, I felt.
Yeah, it is, and you're truly true. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So
That
when
was the
I
whole
died,
N64 stick, man. Was like they did have analog control, right? They pretty much introduced it to consoles.
well, this is still like the PlayStation 1 version, but still, I think it might have
Yeah.
used the analog stick. Yeah, but it was originally made for Nintendo 64.
Yeah, that's why, right? That's why, like, I mean, yeah. Anyway, that's why everybody wants N64 games, and be careful what you wish for, because the ones that are good on there, you don't have a license for. You'll never get the Konami Castlevania. Well, they're not great games anyway, but you won't get the Nintendo licenses.
Exactly.
Because that's ultimately like every Nintendo consoles. The best games are Nintendo games.
I'll disagree with that. I'd say a lot of good games are Nintendo games. I would say, and they do have some of the best games. But
yeah, you're right. I mean, it's more so in the last couple generations. But back in the NES, yeah, absolutely, Nintendo wasn't making the best games. It was like a lot of other studios. But you look at the Switch, right? The Switch, majority of the games that can take advantage of Switch hardware and be really polished and all that is Nintendo-based games.
Yeah, and I think that's because they take the time to make sure their games.
Yeah, and they have some tricks that they don't share, rendering tricks and stuff that they just won't share with third party. Just the way it is. You know. All right. I actually have to go, so I'm going to say goodbye to everybody.
All right.
You want to plug anything, Pete, before you leave?
Not really. I don't have anything. I don't really have anything on the go. I'm going to try to play Evercade Indie Heroes 3. I got to open that and start playing it. So that's my goal.
Okay, yeah.
But anyway, bye everyone.
See ya, Pete.
See ya.
Which is going on putting every single game. Wow, he's really doing that.
Really doing what?
Putting in every single cart to unlock.
I sure am.
I did it too. I did it while I was like kind of at work though, because every time a cartridge would need to be updated, I'd be like, okay, I'd let it go update while I continue working.
I was really dreading this. I was really dreading it.
But weren't you the one that was inserting all the carts when you found out about the cart update thing?
Yes. Yes. But for me, I did that because I wanted auto fire and I wanted to save the scores and I wanted to get it, and that was kind of more I wanted to get it out of the way for other updates. Yes, but that was like 13 carts and that was a pain.
Oh, you only did it on the carts that had that would benefit from that. Okay.
I was gonna say, Jason, not alone in that. I don't. For me, the only 64 game I would be really excited for is Sin and Punishment. That was like because that's like a really cool like rail shooter. I had that like on the Wii Virtual Console and all that. And now I can't legitimately download any of those.
I can't say there's any Nintendo 64 game I would want to play other than Mario Kart, and that wouldn't happen.
Right. Well, that's kind of what Pete was saying. Like, the best, the best 64 games are like the Nintendo.
But like, I can't even think of any other game on Nintendo 64, including the games by Nintendo, that I would want to play. And I'm including Mario 64. I don't like Mario 64.
Yeah, I'd rather play like Mario 64 Kart or whatever. Yeah, no, I mean, the 60 is one of those. I don't know. I think there are legit people that like 64. I also think that it's cool to say, yeah, 64 was the best system. But I don't know. People tend to like jump on certain nostalgia. Like,
well, I think that's
I think that's a millennial point of view.
What, that the 64 is the best system? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's because it's what you grew up with, right?
But here's the thing though. Like, I wouldn't even say that like the Atari 2600 is the best system, and that might be like that Nintendo might be the most nostalgic. But I wouldn't dare say like that was like the best. You know, I don't know.
Well, okay, let's not say the best system. Let's just say your favorite system, because you can't really say one system is better over another. There's a whole bunch of variables, including like the hardware and the games and I get your nostalgia takes into factor there. So
yes. No, and that changes over time, right? Like that's.
But to be, what's funny is like all the Nintendo consoles. It's funny over time. I've grown less fond of them over time for whatever reason. I don't know why.
So you know what too, like, and the GameCube was also a failure too because it was
I never forgot that because I remember like having the PlayStation and then one of my friends got the Nintendo 64 and I played it. I'm like, well, I'm glad I got the PlayStation. And then I remember he needed money and I bought his Nintendo 64 from him. And then other than Mario Kart, there was nothing I could find on that I actually liked. So I wound up giving it to my dad to let my sisters play it because I didn't play it ever.
Oh, I know that's Well, that's
easy.
This management. That's because you had like Sega of America and Sega of Japan disagreeing, and I wanted like Nintendo definitely had Nintendo has a tighter leash. Like on Nintendo of America, Nintendo Japan, Sega not as much. Like the CEO at the time,
there's a whole series of events that led up to the Saturn and the Dreamcast that led to people not trusting Sega. That started with like the Sega CD being an add-on, and then the 32X.
Yes,
exactly. Yeah. Then they came out the 32X at the same time. The Saturn was already coming out in Japan, and then the Saturn was actually designed not to really have 3D until they realized that the PlayStation was going to be 3D, and then they kind of shoehorned that in, and that's why you got the two different processors. So it made it very difficult to program for. And then they released it months earlier. Retailers didn't even know, so retailers were mad at the Saturn. They wouldn't even carry it. A lot of retailers were. And then the Dreamcast came out, and it was. Here's the problem: is that the PlayStation got so successful that when the Dreamcast came out, everybody knew that the PlayStation 2 was going to come out in like a year.
Right.
So a lot of people didn't buy it because they knew that they were going to wait for the PlayStation 2.
And not only that, Crow, to add to it, you can't sell a console for $200 if it costs you $250 to make. Right?
No, they do. They all do that. Nintendo's the only one that sells their consoles at a profit.
But especially then. So you had all those.
They all did it. They all did it, especially then. Except for Nintendo.
Yeah, that's not a good. Steam can get away with that because of the store, but that's not a good business model. And then they sunk $50 million into Shenmue, and that game didn't offer a return. But the biggest thing the biggest thing that Sega has screwed up on in general, which is something smart. Like notice how like with Nintendo, like there's probably maybe over 300 Mario games. Like Nintendo actually carried their IPs like Metroid. Sega they didn't carry all their IPs. Like there's no Kid Chameleon sequel, there's no Altered Beast sequel, there's no like more Golden Axes, there wasn't like a Streets of Rage. And then here's the biggest thing they screwed up on too. They didn't get the EA license when they need
You say there was no Streets of Rage? You mean on the Dreamcast?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Like that's what I mean. Like they abandoned all their their good IPs. They didn't come out with that. They didn't come out with collections.
No, honestly, I think it's more or less. I don't think it would have mattered what they came out with for the Dreamcast. It was the fact that people had already been on the PlayStation bandwagon.
Yeah. No, dude, I can remember when Dreamcast, like when they said when that kind of went end of life, and they said they're making no more games, and here's PS2. Like I felt like crap. Like why did I? I felt really bad. Yeah. You
also can't omit the fact that people were buying the PlayStation 2 simply because it played DVD movies.
Yes, I know. They beat Microsoft out. Yeah, I know. There was a lot of, but yeah, I felt like it actually made you feel bad for owning a Dreamcast, which sucked. I'm like, man, the PS2 was really hyped and Final Fantasy, and oh my god.
No, I'll tell you. Sorry, when back when the Saturn and the PlayStation came out. Saturn came out first, and I remember I had it was right after I was done with basic training, so I was in like tech school at the time, and somebody I went out on a job with, they brought their Saturn with them, and they're like, oh, the Saturn's the greatest thing ever. The Saturn, we were playing Virtua Fighter and all this other stuff, and then the PlayStation came out, and then I ran into him later. And I was like, "Hey, how's your Saturn?" He's like, "Don't talk about that." Like, shh, don't. He's like, "That's so loud." Like he's like, "Don't say I got a Saturn."
So the one thing, what probably like looking back, maybe my favorite or one of my favorite consoles growing, and it just proves that you don't have to have the best graphics, and that like admittedly that was like the Game Boy, because you got so much battery life, it had fun games, I could bring it anywhere. Matter of fact, I remember one of my friend's brothers, like he made me admit that like he wouldn't let me use his fighting stick to play like Street Fighter 2 on a Super Nintendo or Genesis, because I said, yeah, I love the Game Boy better than Genesis. Like, I feel bad. I was bullied into reverting my opinion, so I could.
Also, another thing that killed the Dreamcast was piracy, because it's so easy to copy the games.
I know.
In fact, when I was in college at the time, this guy we used to do this gaming night thing, and he brought his Dreamcast. Literally every game he had was a copy. It wasn't, he didn't have any original.
You can do that with Sega CD too.
Yeah.
Well, it was harder back then because that equipment to burn CDs wasn't
that's true.
It wasn't as widely available. Like people had CD-ROMs on their computer, but not CD writers at the time. Yes. They were really expensive, and the discs were like $20-$30 each at that time. So it would have been more cost effective just to buy the game. But when the Dreamcast came out, no, you're getting a whole spindle of CDs for like $10-$20. And
yeah, but what was neat though, some of those games came with trainers, or you could have infinite lock. You could like unlock things, and yeah. But you know what? Like I bought a good portion of that stuff, and then you have somebody like Nintendo that you do buy their stuff legit from the store, and then the store goes away. And for some reason, like Nintendo, like for the Wii, they tied it to a serial number on your console, not to an account. And I think they still do that with the Switch. It's not like you have a Microsoft account or a Sony account, and all those games live on there. So I don't know. But here's the one cool thing that I did like about that with the Dreamcast is you could play Japanese games before they came out in the US. You could play like versions of King of the Fighter. You could play like some of these cool Japanese games that we weren't going to get. That was kind of neat too.
I actually did that. You could do that on the PlayStation. It was region locked, but it was kind of funny to circumvent that on the PlayStation. I used to use the disc swapping trick, so I got really good at the timing that was necessary for that. But I was one of those people that just installed a mod chip that let me play anything I wanted on those.
Yeah. But you hit the nail on the head though, Crow. That when you basically like you didn't have to have a mod chip; it was easy. Oh, hold on a second. Oh. No, those are our producers calling it. It's way past the hour mark, so we can talk about other non-Evercade things. That's funny because like for those I did the opposite like on card. I said it's fun. Like Rich's reaction to that was hilarious.
No, it was pretty good.
I caught him off guard, like in the middle. I interrupted him while I'm talking to see his reaction. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of the flip phones, but yeah, there's like so many things that like the success of the. That's why I like check out like Sega Lord X has made some videos like on like how like he'll like say save the Sega Saturn, save the Dreamcast, save the Trump, and they're just fun. But like he even says, hey, it's easy to see in hindsight, but he like talks about like what like things what could have been done different that would be realistic to save those consoles. So I think those videos are kind of fun. But yeah, part of me does kind of feel bad that like it's some of us who did maybe like pirate and play those games and we contribute to the film. But there were other things. The other thing I was going to say with the Dreamcast is that they were going to go with like a voodoo effects. I can't. They were going to go with one. I think it might have been like I want to say it was voodoo, and they leaked. There was some leak that they were going to go with that, and it kind of made the company mad that it was leaked, and that company was like either owned or they had like a deal with EA. And because they pissed off them, that's why we never got like any EA games. And that was like Sega's bread and butter was always getting those EA sports games in the console. So,
Yeah, there was something about that. I can't remember exactly the whole story of that. Plus,
I can't remember that.
Yeah, I wanted to say 3DO, but that was like earlier than the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
No, it was around the 3DO time, which is when EA stopped making, because EA didn't really make any games for the Saturn.
Okay, NVIDIA's chip. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Saturn had NVIDIA. I forget what Dreamcast was going to have, but yeah, the thing for me that I loved about the Dreamcast, it felt like a modern Neo Geo, and that like there were like a lot of great like 2D games and arcade games that you could play. That was the other problem I was going to say with the Sega Saturn. Like if you played like let's say like Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast, there were so many unlockables, but like they didn't do that on the Saturn. Like if you got Virtua Fighter, like it was the arcade port, which they loved that over like in Japan, but here like people didn't want to spend like $50 for a game that you could just beat easily. So I don't know. I think it's wrong. But then again, like Street Fighter for Super Nintendo. Oh, I was the arcade for it, but I think that's what people wanted. So it's I don't know, a combination of knowing your audiences. Do you think? I don't know. Do you guys want Dreamcast? Like,
I don't know if the Evercade might not be powerful enough for that. Plus, you've got the whole I don't know, the whole analog stick issue. I wouldn't want to see any more games converted from analog to digital unless we got like digital analog support on the Evercade.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm okay with getting like more PlayStation 1 games and like all that kind of stuff, but eventually you're gonna need to have analog.
Yeah, I mean, the PlayStation is fine. I know that a lot of people remember having analog sticks on the PlayStation 1, but that's not how the system originally debuted. And
Correct.
so there are very few games on the PlayStation 1 that actually require an analog stick.
That's right, because the DualShock didn't come out till later. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, for MGS.
And to your point, like I like. Here's the thing: I don't want them just to skip to the Dreamcast. There's still plenty more PS1. I want some good like PS1 games support. Like I want them. I still feel like with those libraries, like we still need to explore those. Like don't jump ahead yet. I don't know. It could. I mean, it could run. I mean, if they
said it could, yeah, but yeah.
What I would like them to do is maybe pick like some game that's very selective to get a license and port it over. I don't want them just to make new hardware and then have them lose focus and now we just get a bunch of Dreamcast. I don't know. Maybe that's me, but I still want them to explore the 8, 16 bit era. Yeah, 32. Oh, he's playing it. Oh my god, I freaking love Tanzer. And now I can actually play that on stream and not feel guilty because the music in that game is just, oh my god,
it's pretty good.
I love this. It's like I so appreciate the weirdness of this game like so much. I really do. I love the weirdness.
I've given. Let's see how many games here. Oh man, I can't tell. I think I've given like maybe 17 games a 10 out of 10 on the Evercade, and this is one of them.
Sweet. I play through this at least like once a year. I want to say like I'll go through. What I haven't done, I need to play this through without save states though, and only just that and use the built-in. Yeah. Tanzer just so Tanzer Dino Crash.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, we got more show and tell.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember this. Tanzer.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Here's my biggest deal. Oh, dude, that is very good. I would love to own that. I could have never done it. That's awesome.
You know where I bought this from? You'll never guess where I bought this off of.
Where?
Not
GameStop.
No way. You bought it at GameStop?
Yeah, I bought it off the website.
That's cool.
Do you remember how much did you pay for that at the time?
Like probably $30.
Not bad. Dude, that's totally.
That's why I bought it. It wasn't that expensive.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, so here's my whole thing of being able to play, let's say, like Dreamcast or N64. What I don't want to have happen is I don't want Blaze to come out with a new console that can only play games on that console and split the community because you can still play everything on the OG. That's the biggest thing that I don't want.
Right.
That is
well,
kind of
so the thing is, as far as the OG handheld goes, right? We are now 2 years out or a year out of them discontinuing the OG handheld. I think it's 2 years.
I thought it was discontinued already.
It has been, yeah. But I'm talking about. I think we've reached the 2-year anniversary of their announcement of the discontinuation of the original handheld. So at that point, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
No, like if like the thing's been discontinued for 2 years, your new opportunity to get into the Evercade ecosystem is only to buy a VS or an EXP. That would be okay.
Is my audio getting cut, by the way?
No, I'm hearing you.
I'm hearing you.
Okay, good. No, I agree with you. But see, I agree with you on that because for one, like with the OG handheld, like we have the VS now, so we have a consoleized version. Plus, we did need something with a better screen. So I agree with you on that. But what I don't want to have, let's say, is like a VS2 that can play Dreamcast games with the VS1, but the original VSK. Like I don't want it to split.
That I don't want. Yeah.
Yeah, but I agree with what you're saying 100%. If it's something like better quality of life features, and you have that person that's like, hey, I love my OG handheld. I see no reason to upgrade. I want to play it. Like, I'm fine with that. But yeah, at some point though, it's like, well, then somebody can like easily get like a VS, which is different. Like, I kind of feel like if you're being forced to buy like another like non-portable console, that feels kind of bad because then you're not really gaining as much versus if you were to jump, let's say, to the EXP, then at least you're getting a newer handheld with a better screen. You know what I mean? I don't want to force. Yeah. Yeah, it could easily run. Yeah, exactly. I'd like them to be creative and take very selected games they can get a license to, like 100%. But what's funny about that though is like with the new Pico collection, like what Galaxy Fighter, we're not getting the Neo Geo version of that. But we're getting a PS1, so I don't know.
Yeah, that surprises me. I don't know why we're not getting a Neo Geo version.
License money.
It's the same company that owns it, wouldn't it? Sunsoft?
Yeah.
Unless they just don't have Neo Geo emulation for some reason.
That's the only thing, right? It would be the emulation.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
It's the licensing of the Neo Geo BIOS or not wanting to get like the Uni BIOS. That's kind of I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
I'm looking on Funstock's site. Product type. I'm looking on their site for the con. Oh yeah, so you can't like. Oh, here's what's interesting. And we're getting close to wrap up here. So the controllers like the VS controllers out of stock. You can they have 6 of those cables. So if somebody wants to use their OG as a handheld, they got you covered.
I can't see many people doing that.
I've only ever done it twice, and then I have enough. Yeah. Now I have enough VS controllers, so I just use that.
I did it once,
literally
just to see if it would work.
Because literally you could buy like almost any controller you could buy. It doesn't have to be an Evercade controller. You could play on the VS.
That's true. It is kind of cool though.
So you can get Namco 1 by itself for $40 Canadian, which is right now. Let me do it. That is $40 Canadian. Was that like 30? No, that's $29. So that's not too bad, right?
This is Funstock, not Funstock. This is Video Games Plus, right?
Plus. Yes.
So why are they mentioning PEGI import, but on some of them, but not other ones? Oh, because it's assumed that it wouldn't have the PEGI logo on other ones. Okay.
Oh, you know what? I forgot that you could do this. This has been here for a long time, I'm sure. There you go, $29. I didn't have to use the Google converter. Yeah, $29. So that's. But this is why I love, and some like Namco too. So like, it's so much better than like going to like eBay and paying scalping prices, and then you can get spend a couple of bucks for shipping, and then you've got it. Pico's
okay. Well, you know what, you can say scalping prices, but you gotta remember, like the people that are selling this stuff on eBay, they're only gonna see a fraction of what you actually pay for it.
I know,
because like they've got to. They gotta pay the eBay fees, so they get money taken out for that. The money that you pay them for the shipping, whatever winds up being the shipping, is taken out of that. If they do free shipping, that's eating out of their costs. They've got to, again, they're probably not getting packing materials at as much of a discount as an actual store like Funstock.
Yep, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going next year. Yeah, so that's like when I see somebody selling like an Analog Pocket for $300, I'm like, well, they had to pay, like, did they make any money off of that? Because they probably had to pay like $250 with shipping and everything to get it. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird. All right, so let me share. If people ask, so like, look, you could for like $100, you can still get. I mean, they're not making any more of them, but yeah, you can still get these. The exclusive Funstock bundles.
But are there people that would prefer this over the Evercade EXP?
I think that's a great. I think if you're a collector, right? So it's kind of like, let's say if you want, let's say if you wanted Namco 1 and that's like $30, and then you're like, well, I don't mind paying. I'll get 2 more carts and I'll pay a little bit more money, and I'll get the pins. And I think I think for your average user, no, but I think for your collector, maybe. Who doesn't have it? You know what I mean? But yeah, they're sold out of all the controllers. I could see this. Like, I could see a rebranding of this like starter pack becoming cheaper, or maybe without a game. Who knows? Ooh, this was that original bundle. Yeah, this was the one that I got like back in the day.
So, if they're never gonna restock that, why even have it listed?
That's a good question. To show you what you're missing. Yeah, you know what? That's a good question. Maybe, yeah, or maybe. Yeah, same with the Atomic. I don't know. Maybe same with the Founder. Huh. That's kind of funny. Wow, $200 US. Yeah, that was. Oh wow, 190. So what's funny is that was cheaper then than the Duke is now. Oh no, it's not. 150.
It's not. It's $50 more.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, that didn't make sense to me. No, but you got like 6 carts of this. This was.
Yeah.
I want to say the VS. That Founder button is one of the reasons I got. That was like one of the best deals like ever.
It was a really good deal.
Yeah. Other than
other than the fact that they all had Peggy logos on them.
Other than that, but like something like I don't know, like this, not as much. Like 186. I mean, yeah, you get like a case and some of that stuff. But I don't know. Oh wow, look at this bundle, 12 cartridges. So yeah, it is kind of fun to see what was there. But yeah, if you look hard enough, like for those who've been wanting like Namco 1, yes, you can get it. You can get a second copy off of Video Games Plus, and then you've got it.
It still kind of annoys me that you can't play those Namco cartridges on the VS.
Lack of the plot.
Yeah.
See, I wonder though, with maybe the UniBIOS license, I don't know what that would be.
Yeah, I don't know who would own that. Is SNK still around? SNK, I think they are.
Yes.
It's weird. They never change hands, but still.
Yeah, so like Rasta says, they got it just before. Yeah, so it's like I want to say back in the day before that was clear, I was kind of like I noticed you couldn't get like Namco in the U.S., but I didn't notice why, and I really wanted like the Namco collection, and then I was like, well, I kind of want Technos, and then I'm like the more I looked into Evercade, it was really going to have to be like a Sophie's Choice. So if I could only get it with one game, do I get this? Do I get over Technos? And so that's why I ended up getting that whole thing. It was like so. Yeah, the viewing angles. Yeah, so I think nowadays to get the OG, I think it's pointless to get the OG unless you just want it or for collectors, like for playability.
Or you could just replace you could replace the screen on it like I did with an IPS screen. It's like the same screen as a PSP, I think.
Yeah. For me, I mainly use it for streaming the Namco collections because my encoder or whatever doesn't like the EXP. That's the main reason. That's the main reason I use them. Other than they just like kind of sit there to look pretty.
Huh. If you could go back and play one Evercade game again for the first time, what would it be? Definitely not Dracula the Undead.
Because there's still games I haven't played for the first time.
I think like if I could go back and experience, it would. Okay, I can tell you. It would. You know what? It might just be Full Void, to be honest, because that I really love the experience with that, like so much. It might be.
I'm just looking at it. It might be Cathedral.
That's another good one.
Yeah. Although I still want to go back to that one, but still a sore subject of losing my save.
I mean,
or the first Indie Heroes.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much most of the first Indie Heroes is my yes. I'm with you on that.
But they said a game. Oh, that's tough though. Not a cart, like a game. Maybe you meant a cart.
I thought he said he did say game.
Just game.
No, it'd be Cathedral. It'd be Cathedral then.
I still need to go. I still need to go back to that. With the Neo Geo BIOS, I understand that there's open source. They don't. Well, not like the NG did. Okay, but yeah, the Uni BIOS though. Like I don't know what the licensing is for that. Like if you could just offer it for free, but since I don't know, it's a tricky thing, right? And I get that's why they released the PS1 version, and we'll never know. No, dude, I love. For me, that was like one of the best games like ever, like that may or may ever be on Evercade for that. But it was just such a sore point for me after 20 plus hours, like losing, like losing that due to corrupt. And it's like, and I know a few. It's like I know it's really rare, but a few other people have reported that. I wish there was some backup system. Tanzer, yeah, like Astro. Oh my god, I love Astro Bros. I still want to go. That would be a game I would go back to play and try to beat it with somebody else. Because like if you don't use the Ranger, at least for me, that makes the game a lot more challenging.
I haven't played it.
Shame.
Hey, I'm actually working through Duke Nukem Remastered.
Dude, that like I couldn't stop playing that. But oh my god, the Dukes. That still might be like the crown jewel of Evercade. Like that was done so well. The first two. Oh my god.
Well, okay, I was looking into the history of that, and it turned out that the guy who was making it actually started making it in 2016.
Oh.
And it was just that Blaze had gotten the Duke Nukem license, and that's why they were able to publish it. Otherwise, he would have made the game, and it would have just been out there. He would never have been able to make any money off of it because he didn't have the Duke Nukem license.
Oh, I see. No, you know what? And then we wouldn't have got it forever. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's why it's only on the Evercade.
I kind of hope it stays like I kind of hope it stays that way. Like, yes, we have an exclusive.
Well, unless they can somehow get, I mean, I could see this appearing on somewhere else. I could see it popping up on Steam, but I think somebody else. I don't know what kind of agreement Blaze has with this guy. I don't know if they own it now or if somebody else can get the publishing rights to it. But somebody else would have to get the publishing rights for that game with being able to also get the Duke Nukem license in order for it to pop up somewhere like on Steam or something.
Yeah. But though, that's kind of like, I think every dad's dream, like somebody, they do like a project out of passion, but they don't have the license. And then somebody like Blaze does have it. Now they actually get some money off of it. Like, that's kind of a cool. Yeah. I wondered how they kind of came out with that so fast, but it sounds like, yeah. But
you know what that tells me? It tells me you didn't look at the manual. That's in the manual.
No, I didn't. No, for me, manuals, like, I just collect the manuals. I don't read them. I don't use them for functionality. Yeah, no, I admit. Or if I did read that, I might have like blitzed through it and forget, because that game I was just so excited to play. But I wouldn't have a problem with if they did go to Steam, like eventually, like to your point, probably who knows how long they have the license. Like, I would be fine with that, because I mean, after all, they are PC remakes, and if that's like another revenue stream for Blaze, like I would.
Well, okay. Here's the thing: the being worried about legacy carts. I don't know about that, because, to be honest, like every console ever, they stopped making the cartridges at some point. They just don't say that we've stopped making cartridges. Like Nintendo,
right.
Like at some point they stopped making, Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt cartridges.
Right.
They became legacy carts, just that they didn't announce it.
Well, the thing with Blaze though is it's they can't be held responsible for whether or not something goes legacy because they don't own the games.
Yeah, we were talking about this on card, but
it's still at that point. It's like at some point you got to stop making the cartridges.
Well, that's true. But if I don't think it would be in Blaze's best interest to stop making the carts if they were able to license them still for a fair price. And if they were just getting banged up on licensing, yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, you could. What if you've got all these, you've got a stack of these carts, and they're not really selling that well? You're gonna stop making them. Yeah. You're not gonna keep making them and make that stockpile higher. And you wind up with an ET situation.
Right. That's true.
But yeah, that's like limited games. That's exactly what they do. Or like when they, like when they come out with remaster, like when they re-release like retro games, it's like they'll offer them for a limited time, and it's like anybody who wants to buy them can get them. And then after that,
they find out.
Yeah,
but in those cases too, they're not the only ones.
Yeah,
somebody else can pick up that license later and publish their own run of them as well. in most cases.
Yeah. And this is where I have mixed feelings, and where I like that it rewards people who are into the Evercade system. At the same time, if somebody buys into the Evercade ecosystem for this and they want to play Techno's Double Dragon, they shouldn't have to pay $300. You know what I mean? So that's
well,
that's what
fortunately, you don't have to pay $300 because there's many other places you can play that game.
I know. No, there is, but then, no, and I get that. Like with anything, then that's the old argument: you can play ROMs for free, but it's like, hey, I bought into this Evercade system to have the physical cart. I want to be able to play it on the Evercade. I get that, but then, and then I could like totally see somebody going like the EverDrive route, like just for that.
like this Double Dragon and Kunio-kun.
Yeah. So it's an interesting type of. It's an interesting type of, but
which honestly is limited run. But honestly, this is better than the Technos collection because it's got every version of every game on here.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, Namco made twice as many 2600 carts as Atari VCS. Oh, I'm not surprised because Pac-Man was.
Yeah, they did do that. They made more Pac-Man carts than they had consoles at the time because they assumed people would be buying the console just to play that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
But that was their assumption was that, oh yeah, people would want to play it because the arcade game is so popular. So if we made but then they cheaped out on the memory size of the cartridge, which is why Pac-Man wound up looking the way it did. People didn't like that because they're not actually seeing the arcade version of the game, like anything close to the arcade version of the game.
You know what I like? It is. You know what I wish somebody I don't know. I wish we could talk to somebody like Konami or Capcom. Why? What I want to know from these publishers. Why wouldn't you let a company like Blaze take the license?
Actually, it is noon here. I got to get going because I scheduled my oil changes for after the Evercast.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we had schedule things that were alternative to that here at the Haywood House.
All right, Crow. What do you want to plug?
My wife had to take.
Actually, yesterday my video for Home Computer Heroes went up, so that is up. I'm playing Duke Nukem Collection 1 now. Still playing Duke Nukem Remastered 1. That's actually really good. So I'll be playing that for a while, I think. So that's it.
Very cool.
What do you got going on, Rich?
He's got Evercade VS going on.
I've got some more things. We got to dive back in to all sorts of different stuff. We got some Evercade stuff brewing. We got Atari VCS stuff brewing. We got Polymega stuff brewing. All sorts of other fun things happening. And for GTC members, later on this afternoon, there'll be another Retro Riches Restorations of yet another Evercade cartridge. So that'll be pretty cool. We'll see how that goes. But yeah. And then eventually we're gonna have another live stream. So check your feeds, everybody. We'll have another live stream, play some more Phantasy Star. And that'll be pretty cool.
Awesome. Speaking of live streaming, I'll probably do my official schedule and go on later tonight and stream. Next week, I think I'll probably need to do my game of the put together my game of the month and the new UI. Even though we've talked about the new UI, I think at least the game of the month. I'll do that next week. I'm not really sure, but something like that, kind of like in these lulls, or I might talk about Evercade adjacent games. Who knows? But
nice.
Yeah.
And I've officially made it through 18 of the 37 regular carts and all of the arcade and all of the computer carts within this episode of the Evercast. So that's pretty good.
Awesome. And I do want to say, if you all just stumbled into this and you haven't yet subbed, please consider subscribing to my channel so you don't miss it on Evercast. If you like my channel, you're gonna like Rich's, you're gonna like Pete's, you're gonna like Crow. Sub to all their channels. All that stuff is in the description below. I want to thank you to all my channel members and all the support everyone gives all that. And I think we're gonna call it here.
Yeah.
And I thank my channel members, and bye-bye.
See ya.
Thank you, Crashline, Mr. Shua, and the Immortal Sojourn!